Hello and welcome to Night Fever episode 20. It's a match review of Auckland's away win over Central Coast Mariners Friday night in Gosford. There's lots to discuss, lots to unpack, lots of statistics to take a look at. Let's get into it. Welcome to the show. In Gosford on Friday night at Polytec Stadium ahead of kickoff, the Auckland FC faithful knew that it would be a test against the Central Coast. After we beat Wellington Phoenix last weekend in the NZ Derby, Corica stuck with the same starting 11, with the addition to Hiroki Sakai on the bench following his return from injury, with him being out since round 3. It was the same core of players that showed good form. The Black Knights entered this match with 5 wins, 2 draws and a loss, holding 17 points from 8 games. In contrast, the Mariners sitting much lower in the table, struggling with consistency with only 2 wins from their opening 8 games, seeking to find a rhythm at home. In the pre-match press, Corica emphasised structure, control and keeping pressure on the ball. We heard that Auckland would aim to keep the possession and play through the lines. That set the tone for the performance that we would see on the pitch. Onto the starting lineups for the teams. We'll take a look at Auckland. It was the same lineup we saw last weekend against Wellington Phoenix. Michael Vow in goal, Callan Elliott at right back, Dan Hall and Gertwood Reich in the centre of defence, Francis de Vries on the left. In the middle of midfield, Jake Brimmer and Verstraete continued their partnership. On the right, Logan Rogerson. On the left, Randall. In attacking midfield, Lockie Brook sat just behind striker Sam Cosgrove. For Central Coast Mariners, they went with a 4-3-3 formation. Redmayne in goal, Rowe at the back. On the right, Donachie and Paul in the centre of defence. Maragis on the left. McCalmont, Tapp and Harrison in the middle, with Theo Harris, Brantman and DiPizio up front. For the Central Coast, this was a slightly more attacking shape than some earlier fixtures in the league, trying to control territory in midfield, but they struggled to assert themselves in the first half. They seen at Polytec Stadium in Gosford. It was a Friday night, the lights were on, and it was a classic Aussie football setting with night air and fans braving the summer chill. Earlier in the day, it was quite wet and you could see a lot of surface water on the pitch. The attendance was on the lighter side, just under 2,000 fans, the lowest so far at Polytec Stadium this season. A modest crowd, but one that was buzzing with Mariners supporters chanting early. For Auckland fans in attendance and for those watching from afar, there was a real feeling this was a chance to make a statement. We were amongst the top teams in the league and ready to back it up. The anticipation was high, the Mariners trying to build momentum at home and Auckland looking to extend the unbeaten run to again kick off their season. The match kicked off and Auckland asserted their dominance early. Around the 20th minute, the breakthrough came when Francis de Vries, wide on the left, he cut inside and threaded a perfect pass to Jesse Randall. Randall made no mistake bearing it into the far corner to give Auckland the lead. It was a calm, composed opener, exactly what we'd hoped for after a strong early press. Throughout much of the first half, Auckland looked more cohesive on the ball, maintaining slightly better possession and creating more forward thrusts. The Mariners had bursts but rarely threatened Vow in those opening minutes. But then, in a twist just before half-time, around the 33rd minute, an awkward moment, Auckland FC defender Callan Elliott inadvertently headed the ball past his own keeper from a cross. A goal that any striker would be proud of, drawing the home side level at 1-1. It was a harsh one for Elliott and for Auckland, but it showed the unpredictability of football. Overall, the first half was end-to-end. Auckland held a technical advantage with sharper link-up play, especially in the final third. Coming out for the second half, both sides made subtle tactical shifts. Auckland remained patient, probing for openings. The goal that mattered came about 58 minutes in. Lachlan Brook delivered a beautiful cross and Sam Cosgrove rose highest to meet it with a powerful diving header, a finish that sent the Black Knights back into the lead at 2-1. From that point, Auckland was smart. They managed the ball, slowed the tempo, and when needed, defended with discipline. The Mariners, they tried pushing men forward, but Auckland's defensive shape was solid, and they replicated the sort of structured performance we've seen from the team all season. There were a few nervous moments, as there always is away from home, but Auckland handled them well. The final score, Central Coast Mariners 1, Auckland FC 2, goals from Randall and Cosgrove. Mariners getting their goal from an own goal from Callan Elliott. Now let's run through with a sentence and a rating for the starting 11 for Auckland FC. Michael Vow in goal. He commanded the box well, made key decisions and was composed. 6.6 for Michael Vow. Francis de Vries, excellent in the build-up. The assist for the opener. 8.1 for de Vries. Callan Elliott on the right, unfortunate with that own goal, but recovered well with some solid defending. Overall, it was a good performance from Callan, just being smeared with that own goal. Callan Elliott, 7.2 out of 10. Goodwood Wright in the centre of defence, another solid performance there for Goodwood Wright, a 7 for him. And Dan Hall, his partner in central defence, also another solid performance, 6.8. Captain Jake Brimmer in the heart of midfield. He linked up play very well with some tidy distribution. 6.5 for Jake Verstrata. A great performance for him in the heart of midfield. Lots of winning of possession and controlled passing, keeping possession for Auckland FC. 7.1 for Verstrata. Out on the right, Logan Rogerson, energetic, carrying the ball forward and pressured the opposition defence. A 7 for Rogerson. Jesse Randall on the left of midfield, a calm finish, and he continued with his goal scoring for the season. A 7.5 for Randall. And up front, Sam Cosgrove, the match winner with that amazing diving header. An 8.5 for Cosgrove, takes his tally up to 4 for the season. Also, another highlight of the match was seeing Hiroki Sakai make his comeback from injury. He came on in the second half, replacing Elliott. He brought leadership and helped to see the game out. Already at that point, Auckland FC had shifted to a back five to close out the game. Touching on a few of the performances from the Central Coast players, Redmayne in goal, 2 very key saves at the beginning of the match to keep out Sam Cosgrove, called into action and showed his experience. Storm Rowe solid but under sustained pressure. Donachie and Paul in the centre of defence. They tried to organise the lines but struggled with Auckland's movement. McCalmont, Steele and Tapp, the hustle in midfield, though they lacked cohesion to take control. Brantman and DiPizio in the forward line. They provided bits of threat but not enough cutting edge. So a few contenders there for man of the match for Auckland. Callan Elliott, despite the own goal, he put in a great performance on the right, controlling the flank. Louis Verstrata in the heart of midfield, again showing what he does. Instrumental in intercepting the ball and keeping possession for Auckland. And Lockie Brook all over the field, controlling possession on the right, the left and through the middle, keeping possession firmly with Auckland FC. My man of the match against Central Coast Mariners goes to Lockie Brook. And taking a look at the statistics from the game, Auckland FC out on top with possession, 53% to 47, dominating the shots as well. Auckland FC had 13 shots to the Mariners' 5. Of those on target, only 2 for the Mariners, 6 for Auckland FC. Pass accuracy reasonably high for both teams, 81% for the Mariners and 83% for Auckland. XG saw 0.27 for the Mariners, 1.33 for Auckland. Tackle accuracy, a very low accuracy percentage for Mariners, only 21%. And 57% for Auckland. Goalkeeper saves 4-2 in favour of the Mariners, and corner kicks, the Mariners with 5 to Auckland's 3. So it wasn't just the scoreline. Auckland FC, they dominated territory, created more chances and controlled the game flow better in key spells. Looking ahead to next week for Auckland FC, the away win underlines our tactical balance. We can score early and manage the game. The combination of De Vries, Randall and Cosgrove remains one of the most effective attacking threats in the league. The defence overall, it was resilient, though the own goal was a reminder of the concentration needed. Confidence is high, and that's vital as we continue our title push. For the Mariners, they showed fight and got the equaliser, but struggled to sustain any pressure. They need sharper penetration from the wide areas if they expect to turn home form around. A tactical rethink in midfield control may be on the cards. And that wraps up our post-match deep dive into Auckland FC's 2-1 away win over Central Coast Mariners. 3 points on the road, invaluable at any time of the season with the demands of travel across the Tasman. The first win of the season for Auckland in Australia as well. It's the first of 3 in a row away matches next weekend coming up against Western Sydney Wanderers, which I'm sure will prove to be a cracker of a match, followed by a match against the other Sydney team, Sydney FC. I'll be back in a couple of days' time with a match preview for the game against the Wanderers. Thanks for listening to this episode of Night Fever. If you enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe, share the podcast, and leave a comment below. Let me know who your man of the match was. I'll be back in a couple of days' time. Until then, up the port, up the Black Knights, and goodbye for now.